Panibagong season, panibagong mga kwento na naman ang ihatid namin sa inyo. Tuloy-tuloy lang ang pagbibigay natin ng mga storya ng atletang Pilipinong pinalakas ng pagsubok at pinatibay ng tagumpay. This is DZRH-TV Matchpoint Season 5.
Say we're the best team in the country.
Nakita ko yung bilyar, sabi ko, parang maganda.
Any sport is a woman's sport.
Sa akin, pagka nasa tubig tayo lahat, pantay-pantay na yun.
Pinoys are very passionate.
Pinalakas ng pagsubok at pinatibay ng tagumpay. Mas titindi pa ang paghahatid ng storya mula sa mga atletang Pilipino. Ngayong araw, makakasama natin ang Philippine Volcanoes para pag-usapan ang naging tagumpay nila sa tournament sa Nepal. We have George Rosal Nield from men's team and Janin from women's. Magandang araw sa inyo, guys. Welcome to Matchpoint.
Magandang araw po.
Batiin mo na muna yung ating mga viewers.
Hi po. Hi, thanks for supporting Philippine Rugby.
Yes, syempre, bago tayo magsimula, kung gusto ko muna kayong i-congratulate sa inyong pagkapanalo for both women's and men's na naka-gold kayo sa Nepal. Can you guys tell us about it?
Ako po.
Yeah.
So, at first, yung tournament po namin at yung napanalunan namin is sobrang intense at very competitive naman lahat ng teams at na-test talaga lahat yung mental and physically namin. Ayun, at in-enjoy lang namin lahat ng games po talaga.
And nakita naman natin yun, di ba? Dahil sobrang dinomina ninyo yung naging tournament ninyo. And para po sa kalaman nating lahat, yung parehas nating Philippine Volcanoes na women's and men's team ay nakapag-uwi ng gold medal sa Asia Rugby Emirates Sevens Trophy. Yes. How about you, George?
It was honestly the most amazing experience I've experienced in rugby. Well, honestly, I think more than just rugby as well. This is my second tour with the national team, the Volcanoes, and it exceeded what I would expect. It exceeded my last year's experience. That's what I'm trying to say. And taken home a lot of memories from it. And yeah, I loved it. I loved every moment of it. Honestly.
Can you guys tell us about the mindset of the team during the finals? Janine?
Well, the mindset during the finals is we stay focused lang talaga. Since day one naman, ayun yung practice namin. We ensure everyone is aligned on the same goals. We stay focused. We make sure na in this tournament na makukuha talaga namin yung gold. Ayun nga po, para din makabalik kami sa Division 1 talaga. And kung saan talaga kami belong.
How about you, George? The mindset of the men's team.
Yeah, I think it started off at training camp. We had a 2-week training camp at New Clark City, and we knew as a team that we deserved to be in Division 1. So I think that mindset from the beginning, knowing that this is the tournament to show that we belong in Division 1. So since then, it started from, how hard we push ourselves at camp, and then knowing that if we leave everything on the field at the tournament that we learned, then we believe that doing that would show that we belong in Division 1. So thankfully, I think we did do everything that we learned and we could do. So thankfully that we're in Division 1 for 2025.
And of course, what we saw during the finals, during the whole tournament, is dominating Team Philippines. But how about your preparation? Can you guys tell us about how did you guys prepare?
So, physically and mentally, pagod na yung lahat. Pero we still need to finish our job na, ayun nga po, like, ayun yung tinrain sa amin. Like, maging mental focus, na kakayanin namin lahat, gagamitin namin yung pusong Pinoy para lang mapanalo yun.
And mukhang yun naman lagi ang mindset talaga at ugali ng mga atletang Pilipino. George,
Can you please repeat the question?
how did you guys prepared for the
Well,
tournament?
I think the Filipino team, both men's and women's, are in a unique position where a lot of our players are from overseas. We all obviously share the same blood, but throughout the year we prepare in our own countries. For my example, I'm based in Australia. So throughout the year, I'm working on my skills, whether that's on the field or in the gym, for example, and then coming into the Philippines into training camp. Then again, showing what we've got as an individual to hopefully try and make that touring squad that gets picked for Nepal. So yeah, you have the whole year, but in our case it's a bit different because we're individuals until we get into the Philippines, and then we're in camp, and then we're learning each other's skills and abilities. So yeah.
It's a huge adjustment for each of you.
Yeah, definitely.
And also,
Definitely.
we only have 2 weeks na para lang ma-build namin yung each other chemistry. Yes po. Especially yung mga overseas, yung international men's and women's. So, medyo mahirap siya. Pero, ayun, work on talaga namin na maging as a team at ma-build yung chemistry namin, maging unity talaga lahat.
So for George, you only had 2 weeks?
Yeah, so because I'm based in Australia, I have my rugby season there, and then I thankfully got invited to trial for this tournament in Nepal. So then we get invited, have to fly into the Philippines, come into camp for 2 weeks, and learn the structure of how we want to play, but also learn the new guys that are coming into camp, learn how they play their rugby, their skill set, and then from there our coach will decide what team he should bring to
Selection.
tour, and not only like the individuals, but who can play together.
With chemistry.
Like whose strengths, whose weaknesses, and then come together. Because at the end of the day, it's not about necessarily the individual abilities, but more so if you can gel as a team.
As a team, yeah.
And that's difficult in a week or 2 weeks where we all have different playing styles. So
Can you tell that you are still adjusting during the tournament? Or
I think under pressure like that, you'll be able to see more of, I guess, individuals. During camp, you've only got so much time to, I guess, see someone's strengths or weaknesses. Sometimes it can be hidden, but the more time you're together, and I guess, like I said, the more you're under pressure in real game scenarios, the more people shine, or the more you rely on the team to become a team. So it was, I think we grew more and more as camp went on, as each game we played, and then thankfully we were able to gel enough together to get the result that we wanted.
And I'm actually surprised because looking back at your scores, your game against Jordan 36-0, Pakistan 52-0, Bahrain 19-14, Sri Lanka 19-12, and during the finals, Chinese Taipei 27-14. And for the team who had 2 weeks just to prepare together, can you tell us about each games?
I think the first day, which was the pool days, it was easier for us to maybe rely on possibly individual strengths. But as the games got harder and harder, we realized that it takes more than 1 or 2 guys to do everything, and we have to rely on team effort.
Yeah.
So as we play against the harder teams, we realized, I guess the score showed that, there were times where other teams scored against us, and we realized that, we can't just do individual efforts. We've got to perform what we've been practicing in camp, because that's the team effort that is needed to get the results that we needed.
So you guys, despite you guys dominating each games at first, you still focused on beating teams talaga.
Yeah, so obviously each team have their own strengths as well.
Yes.
Trying to think what was just said. What did you say again, sorry?
despite dominating the first games with Jordan, Pakistan, you guys are also focused on how to beat other teams pa as well.
Yeah, so of course each team have their own strengths, but at the end of the day, it's how we play as a team. Like we know how we want to play to our strengths instead of play to how other teams play, and we know that. So as games got harder for us, we knew rather than trying things that we haven't been practicing, go back to what we've been working on for the past 2 weeks and what we know works for our Filipino rugby style, and what we've kind of incorporated from all our rugby styles that we've brought from the different countries around the world that we come from. So when we realize that these hard games, or when we get under pressure, or we're in a tough spot, we know that we need to take a step back, relax, be patient, and do the things that we've been practicing. So almost keep it simple. If you try too hard and try to do everything yourself, it's not going to work.
Balance. We need to
Right.
balance things. Okay. Thank you so much, George. Janine, let's talk about the women's. Of course, the finals. Grabe, nung napanood ko yung game ninyo, na kwento ko sa'yo kanina, kinabahan talaga ako. Because during finals of men's, talagang nakikita mo na dominating naman din talaga sila, and parang alam mo na din kung saan papunta yung game. Pero women's, you guys first scored 7 points. Then 3 minutes in the game, India scored 5 points.
Yes po.
How did you guys handle the pressure, and how did you guys maintain the defense?
So, ayun nga po. During versus India, sobrang intense. Siguro matagal din kami bago nakascore, as you can see naman. And, ayun, medyo nakakakaba na nung time na yon na nakascore sila at last 3 minutes na lang, or maybe kung ilang minutes na lang natira nun. Then, ang ginawa lang talaga namin is we stay focused lang talaga. Then, meron kasing tinuro yung coach namin, like, meron siyang 1, 2, 3. So, if 1 is like, we stay chill, then 2, stay focus, then 3 is like, nandun ka na sa, parang pagalit ka na, or kaya parang,
Gigil.
yes,
ganyan.
gigil na. So, ayun lang, nagstay lang kami sa 2. Kasi para at least man lang, yung defense namin, maging strong pa rin. Then, ayun nga po, naging patience lang kami. Hindi kami masyadong gigil sa bola. Hindi kami masyadong gigil to attack, to defense, to tackle. And, ayun lang. Like, parang, alam kong pagod na din kami nung time na yun since 2 days and sunod-sunod yung games. Ayun, naging matatag lang talaga kami para lang maano namin yung defense. Tapos yung like inano lang din namin yung minanage lang namin kung paano namin like maging mas matalino sa kalaban namin. Ganun
Kasi
po.
syempre, ilang minuto lang din ba yung
Yes
nilalaro
po.
ninyo?
14 minutes
14
po.
minutes,
Opo.
diba? So
Yes
parang sa ganung kadikit na score, parang hindi mo rin masasabi kung ano pa yung mga next na mangyayari.
Yes po.
Diba? Makakapuntos ba sila or ma-maintain nyo ba? And perfect yung 2
Yes
na
po.
nagstay
Stay
kayo,
in 2.
nag-focus talaga kayo. And after that, diba, kasi men's played first during the finals, then the women's. You guys, like, the men's team are running towards women's.
Yes
I
po.
saw I saw the bond with each other. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, yung bond kasi namin, men's and women's, is sobrang close. Parang kaming magkakapatid na. Like, ayun nga, we use the word pamilya.
Okay.
Yun. George also has a tattoo about pamilya. The other guys also had a tattoo about...
Can we see?
Yeah.
Mine's
It's a
cut
bye-bye-in po. So,
then
ako
it
wala.
says pamilya.
Yes, it says
Wow.
pamilya. So, ayun, like, ayun lang, parang binond lang namin yung sarili namin as family na kahit anong mangyari na we treat each other as family. Yun nga po, like, as you can see, nagsitakbuhan, nakala mo
Yes.
na
You guys
sobrang
hugged each
saya.
other.
Oo.
You guys cheered for each
Opo.
other.
Ayun.
I think because of that bond, I can confidently say that although we did win as a men's side, it was the completion of both women's and men's winning that made the night so special. I think we would feel I guess, incomplete if one or the other won without the other. We have that, special connection that a win is a whole group win rather than an individual win.
As a team.
Right. So I think, winning together and then both getting promoted to Div 1 is what the goal was. Because we know we belong together. If we were to be separated, it really wouldn't be, I guess, worth it. Because when we come into, we come from all around the world. When we come into camp, we look forward to seeing our women's side because they're part of our family now. So it's not just
Yes.
seeing the boys; it's both. So
That's why we're extra proud of you guys, the bond, the relationship that you guys built. And of course, since you guys are so close, how did you guys celebrate?
of course together. So as soon as we, ran onto the field with the women's, I don't know. It was that was when I guess everything sunk in and we realized like we're in this together. Because I think when we finished our game, we were happy, but there was the girls straight after us. So as soon as we finished, like yes, we got our job done. Now we really got to back the girls because, like I said, if we won, they didn't, or they won and we didn't, it really wouldn't be the same. Because so the men's won at the time, but without the women's win, we weren't settled just yet. So as soon as we were able to run on the field and realize that, we're both getting promoted and we both won, it was honestly great. So we went back to the hotel and just spent time together. Yeah, so
It's a simple celebration.
that's the thing. We just wanted to be together. That nothing extravagant or special needed to happen as long as we were able to be, spend the last night in the pool together as a full team.
something You guys can treasure. Aside from the gold medal, it's the bond, it's the friendship, it's the family. Yeah. And of course, since nandito na rin tayo sa Matchpoint, bakit hindi pa namin kayo kilalanin? Can you guys tell us more about yourself? How did you guys started playing rugby? Janin.
Okay, so I started rugby. Well, hindi talaga, noong 2022, nag-start ako ng rugby. But I'm really I'm a touch rugby player talaga sa alma mater ko sa University of Makati. I started touch rugby for the scholarship since I'm from North Cotabato, Mindanao. So they prioritize Makati citizens, so that's why I tried to get some scholarship para lang makapasok for college po. Then ayun nga po, like nakilala ko yung rugby sa Makati Mavericks po. Then doon po nag-start na mag-continue ako mag-training po ng rugby hanggang sa nagustuhan ko na din.
Anong meron dun sa sport? Bakit naging interesado ka?
Parang, ang ano niya lang, like, hindi naman dahil sa physical siya, pero nakaka-enjoy siya. Hindi lang dahil sa sports. It's also the rugby community kasi.
Okay.
Like, parang, yung rugby community kasi parang, they accept you who you are talaga. Parang, every player, kahit magkakaibang club kami, parang we treat as friend lahat. Parang magkakapatid, parang nag-enjoy kami kahit hindi namin masyado kilala. Like, parang na-enjoy namin kasi parang, like, natutuwa kami kasi iisang sports yung nilalaro
And
namin.
nakita naman natin yon hanggang ngayon na nararanasan mo pa rin
Opo.
siya. Mas nafe-feel mo na family talaga sa community ng rugby.
Yes
Thank you so
po.
much, Janine. George, how did you start playing rugby?
So I started my athletic or sporty career as a swimmer, obviously an individual sport, for scholarship in Australia. And like Janine said, because of that community in rugby and the culture of like Australian rugby, it's something that kind of attracted me from an individual sport to a sport where you
Team
play with your
sport.
friends, everyone wants to watch. It's something it's important. Like, it's more important than trying to achieve something by yourself. and having a team effort, especially those same team members being your friends, and it means like you've got the same common goal. I think that's something that attracted me to the sport, especially with rugby being an important part of my high school. That was the team sport that attracted me.
So you're half Australian, you're half Filipino?
I'm half English, half Filipino,
Okay.
but my mum's the Filipino and she's a nurse, so she got recruited to England and then Australia, where in 2008 we were in Australia, and then I grew up in Australia. So half English blood, but I would say I'm Australian.
Do you often visit here in the Philippines?
Because of my opportunity with the Volcanoes, I now come every year. I'm very grateful for that. But before that, I hadn't visited for about 15 years before I moved to Australia. So I'm very thankful that this opportunity has brought me back to this amazing country. So taking all the opportunities I can while I'm here.
And I checked your social media accounts. Sorry for that. I had to. You have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, so
You're a vlogger.
I'm new to YouTube, but I've got the passion for creating content, primarily on Instagram, also on TikTok. I see it as capturing, I guess, my daily movements or my experiences, something that I like to kind of capture and look back at, especially like the volcanoes and our traveling. And I think that's something that's unique and something that other people will not be able to see every day. So when I found that as like my niche, I was able to kind of capitalize on that and film and post, and hopefully that'll, get the volcanoes name out there and create more of an interest in what we're doing and make people realize that there's a Philippine national rugby team that are trying their best and traveling the world to represent the country. But I also do like fashion and days in my life when I'm back home in Australia. But I just have a passion for creating content and documenting my life pretty much, and being able to look back at what I've achieved and what I've done, and I like that.
And it's good that you are using the platform to show everyone Philippine Volcanoes.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much, George. Janine, aside from the sports, ano pang pinagkakaabalahan mo?
So, babalak na din ako mag-YouTube. Charis, hindi.
Really?
Hindi, joke lang po. So, aside from rugby, I'm also a part-timer sa Decathlon. And I'm also a coach as a touch rugby coach sa International School of Manila. So, ayun lang naman yung mga pinagkakaabalahan ko sa buhay. Then, sometimes I volunteered coach sa University of Makati, doon sa alma mater ko. Just to go back lang kung saan ako nanggaling talaga. Ayun lang po.
So you have all the time na for sports talaga.
Yes po.
Pero interest, like, do you watch anime or K-drama, K-pop?
Well, yes naman po. Like, I like movies, I like to read, and ayun lang. I like to travel. Well, ayun na din yung travel ko during the tournament namin.
Yeah,
Isa na
so
din yun na ano.
nag-enjoy ka rin.
Yes po.
And might as well, mag-open ka na rin ng YouTube account mo.
Well, next time.
George will teach you how to vlog, to do fashion.
Sure.
Ito guys, how do you guys see the future of rugby here in the Philippines?
Well, I see Philippine rugby is very bright since, ayun nga po, dahil din sa success namin ngayon. I think yung magiging future niya is parang magiging mas maganda na, mas magiging maayos. I hope na magiging okay na. And sana mas makilala pa kami and may mas high level pa na tournament na masalihan. Dahil ayun. So ayun lang po, parang ayun, sana mas makilala talaga kami.
Sure naman yan dahil gumagawa talaga ng ingay ngayon ng Philippine Volcanoes. George?
I honestly see a very bright future for rugby in the Philippines, especially because I believe that the results have only just begun, and I personally have seen more and more interaction, whether that's like on Instagram or even at my grab on the way here, the driver recognized the uniform, yeah, and he was super excited to have me in the car, and that's something that,
Wow.
not even like looking at it, like, how do I say it? I see it as growth, of course, for the Volcanoes. So yeah, I definitely see a great future, especially that the results are going to continue coming, and hopefully the younger generation will see us, and hopefully on TV and radio and all these types of things, and hopefully see themselves as us, because at the end of the day we're just Filipinos, right?
Yes.
And if we can achieve these great things, then of course the younger generation is going to want to be the exact same, right? And why can't they, So the more that we can achieve, the more we can get ourselves out there, the more the younger generation will want to be like us, and more kids will play. The more kids that play, the bigger the competitions get. The bigger the competitions get, the better they get. And then because our program is international, there's a lot of international guys like myself. We do see in the future that the program will hopefully be mainly full Filipinos. So they'll come from the grassroots that our program is so proud of to have, because it's special. It's important for Filipinos to know that they can be in our position one day.
And I want to hear this from you guys. What are the things that we have to improve to promote Philippine rugby more?
Well, I think we need to focus on, especially dun sa young athletes. Ayun nga po, grassroots programs. Maybe we can start sa school or sa other communities na hindi pa masyadong nakikilala yung sports na to. Well, I think meron ng ibang schools na nagbibigay na ng program ng mga ganito, pero hindi pa masyadong, hindi siya ganun ka-serious type. Pero sana matuloy-tuloy yung pagturo ng rugby program sa iba't ibang. Alam ko we have a child fund rugby na partnership din sa Philippine Rugby Volcanoes. And ayun din yung nag-help para ma-develop sa iba't ibang, not only on Luzon, and also on the Visayas and also in Mindanao. We have different clubs, pero parang naglalak pa ng mga management or funding. But ayun nga po, sana maging okay yung grassroots program talaga para at least ma-develop lang din talaga yung rugby community.
And I think mag-start na rin talaga
Yes
yan
po.
ngayon dahil mas bright nga ang future ng Philippine rugby. George, things to improve here in the Philippines to support Philippine rugby.
I do think something that can help us as a team is funding. Obviously, we've got a lot of players coming from out of the country, and we pay out of our own pockets because obviously this is an honor to play for the country. But we take time out from work, our families, to come play. And I do think the future of the Volcanoes at the moment really revolves around results. And to get results, we need the best players. And right now, those players are international. And when those players aren't able to come here because of family, because of money, they need to stay at work. They can't just take 4 months off. So when we've got big tournaments like Asian Games or Olympic qualifying, sometimes we don't have necessarily the best players all the time available. And of course we make do with those that are available, but it's always a goal to continue to find sponsors and funding so that we can even have maybe longer camps and, you know, fund those athletes that are away from family and work. And because in Division 1 we compete against professionals, like professional athletes who are touring all around the world all year round. But for us, we compete with them on a 1-week training camp. So it's hard to it's harder to get the results when competing with those players who have that chemistry all year round, when, you know, we're learning guys' names for the first few days and then competing with those guys. So the funding would really help with, I guess, bringing our best players together, because that will help us get results, and results help, you know, the younger generation see us getting results,
Yes.
which grows the sport in this country.
And I hope we're able to send that message to those people who can help
Yes,
funding.
please,
Yes.
please help us.
Speaking of message, can you guys leave message to young athletes who aspires to be part of the Philippine team?
Okay. Wait. So for the young athletes na I know na na-inspire kayo, not only for us na Philippine Volcanoes, and also alam ko na-inspire din kayo like yung mga naging atletang Pinoy I mean yung mga athletes natin na mga Pinoy sa Olympics. I know that you get inspired doon. Kung kahit anong sportsman na nilalaro nyo, just keep going. Padayon lang. It means just continue whatever you want. Just do your best. Never give up and don't stop. And ayun, just enjoy your life. Enjoy kung anong meron ka ngayon at ayun lang. Be passionate lang din.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely be passionate. Try everything. Do your best, and know that us Filipinos are capable in a lot more than we think.
Okay, that's beautiful. I hope people get inspired with those messages. Lastly, you guys want to thank someone? May gusto ba kayong pasalamatan? And also invite people to support Philippine Rugby. Go ahead.
So thank you so much for supporting Philippine Rugby. And sana i-continue nyo pa yung pagsusupport sa amin. At sana din madami pang mga players na i-try yung rugby. And it's okay din kung i-try nyo yung other sports, kung ano man yung gusto nyo. But, ayun nga po, thank you din sa PT namin, kay Harry, kay Coach Sam. Thank you so much, Coach Sam. And sa manager po namin, thank you so much po talaga. I know you all hard work na para lang makapunta sa Nepal, para yung alam kong madami tayong challenges na napagdaanan, pero thank you so much po talaga.
Yes, of course, I want to thank my teammates for creating this family that we've obviously created together. Of course, Coach Darryl, Declan for looking after us. He's our physio, best physio. Atta Lang, we were hit with a few setbacks throughout the camp and travel, but she put that all on her shoulders so that we could focus on ourselves as players and everything like that. And of course, I want to thank Mum and James, who support me through and through, who are back home in Australia, and hopefully I can inspire my younger brother enough that he can also join me one day here in the Philippines.
Okay. Thank you so much, George and Janin, for letting us hear your story. Again, congratulations and good luck sa Division 1, future tournaments. Thank you so much.
Thank you
po.
so much
Thank
for
you
having
po.
us.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat din sa patuloy na sumusubaybay sa atin. Ako po ang inyong host, Mili Borja, at magkita-kita tayong muli sa susunod na episode, at samahan nyo kaming pasukin ang mundo ng sport dito sa DZRH TV Matchpoint.
the best team in the country.
Nung nakita ko yung bilyar, sabi ko, parang maganda.
Any sport is a woman's sport.
Sa akin, pagka nasa tubig kayo lahat, pantay-pantay kayo.
Pinoys are very passionate.
Pinalakas ng pagsubok at pinatibay ng tagumpay. Mas titindi pa ang paghahatid ng storya mula sa mga atletang Pilipino